says to me tomorrow, I'm proud of this event tonight. So thank you to everybody, and I hope you had a great night. So thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for a great night. I hope you all had a great time anyway, and we're wrapping up now. And again, thanks very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
We'll give you another go.
With no more that can be done, Bill's two finalists must wait until tomorrow's boardroom to discover their fate.
We've just gone through so much to get here, but now that I'm here, it's just a bit surreal. Winning this would mean everything for me. Like, I'm 23, this would be the biggest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. It would be massive for me. It would change my life.
It wasn't until we drove up in the car this morning I went, oh my God, I'm in the final. And it was literally then when it hit me. I couldn't believe it. So massively proud of myself, but I want the job. So I'm still fighting until I get an answer.
You can go into the boardroom now.
Niamh, Michelle, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bill.
And welcome back, everybody. It's good to see you all again.
Thanks, Bill.
The final task was a big challenge. You had to take 3 market leaders, and your challenge was to create an experience that people could take away from your event. I wanted to leave the Aviva last night with a better understanding of the unique selling points of all 6 brands. So let's kick off with Elevate. So why did you pick who you picked?
Every single one of them not only did what I asked them to do, but more. They sweated, bled, and absolutely fought for me, and I couldn't say a bad word about them. They were brilliant. I would definitely pick them all again.
And you got on well with Barry?
Yeah, myself and Barry worked great together. He played an absolute blinder.
And Barry, you were happy being managed by Niamh?
Absolutely. Never a problem with Niamh or anyone else.
Say that again?
Never a problem with Niamh or any other girl.
Give me a break. That's what you said on Cadbury's, didn't you? And look what happened to that relationship.
Yeah, well...
Do you remember that?
Me and Michelle have our differences, but we work together when we have to.
So what did you take from my briefing on experiential marketing?
Well, I took from it that you discuss the senses and that people have to experience the brands. So we focused on the senses in terms of Connacht Gold, and it's something that the client hammered home, that they wanted them to taste the product because they felt that once it was tasted, that people would be sold on it.
Tastings happen in every supermarket.
It is true, but...
There's nothing new about that.
We went on the visual side as well, taste and the visual of the value of the Connacht Gold is what we wanted to get across. The security guard protecting it, and anyone who tried to approach it, he told them to step back away from it.
Did you think that was a bit lost, though, on the customers, that whole security guard thing?
It possibly was. I suppose it wasn't a huge...
A little too subtle?
Maybe
or maybe too clever?
A little bit too clever, but that kind of creates interest, and people notice one thing and then they notice another, and I thought it was good because some people didn't notice at first, but then when they looked again, they noticed it.
Well, Niamh, you got it right with tile style. People were very impressed with the tile caricature and the signature on it. Jared from Tile Style was very impressed, but I can't say the same for Connacht Gold. And I was just looking at a backdrop of shelves in a supermarket.
I suppose I thought the grass scene was great, and I thought it got the idea across, and I liked the fact that the museum said it was there. I did like it, I'm not going to deny I liked it. I wouldn't have put it there if I didn't.
So let's discuss the layout of the venue. Connacht Gold seemed as it was just something you passed going in. And pass being the operative word. You didn't go back again, you passed it.
Well, they were in a position that everyone was walking by them, and that was an area that people were mingling in terms of the two areas coming together as well.
But do you not take the point that once people went past them, that was it? They were sort of on the way in?
They were a little bit off the side, I do think, yes. In hindsight, sorry, not the word.
Don't say that word again.
Sorry. When the event was running, I was conscious of people had gone by it and had they noticed it enough, so I did try and make the effort to go around and chat to people about it and make sure that they had tasted it.
And Dublin Business School, do you not think they were buried in the corner as well?
I don't think so. We were bringing people over constantly to take part in the quiz. And we
had to bring people over?
Yeah, we did.
And how did you think that was connecting with the Dublin Business School, a quiz?
Well, the Dublin Business School is obviously all about learning, and one of the main
There's quizzes and pubs every night of the week.
It has to be experiential, and I thought that was the best way of getting an experience relating to the Dublin Business School. We had 3 clients there, and I wouldn't have felt comfortable in terms of making one the focal point over the other 2.
Well, that's what happened. 2 felt that you were grievously below one of the others.
Well, I think Tile Style, the items we had sourced from Tile Style were incredibly impressive, and wherever they were, they would have caused attention because they were amazing looking. And I just think, to be honest, they obviously...
Forget about the highlighting for a minute. Something up there had a tremendous exposure, and you gave it to the band.
Do you think the quiz would have looked great on the stage?
The quiz would have, but genuinely I didn't want to put one product on the stage and feel like the other 2 were supporting one product, because that would be the main attraction, and I genuinely didn't want one to be the main attraction and the other 2 to feel like they were below them.
So it does show that where you locate everything is absolutely critical, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Kieran, what was your task on the night?
I spent the first maybe 40 minutes greeting guests as they came in. Myself and Barry did that kind of intermittently.
You were on the meeting and greeting, Barry, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I come in and didn't see you.
I was probably off smoozing the client at the time.
In fact, I didn't see anyone to meet and greet when I walked in.
You came in maybe 20 minutes later
Yeah,
after we had 150 guests in place.
You're saying everybody was in before me. I can tell you, I came in with at least 14 people in front of me, and no one greeted any of us. So, Michelle, let's move over to you. You got first pick. Why did you pick Tara?
I knew the second I saw Tara walk in that I wanted her on my team. She just massively impressed me whenever I worked with her before. She's such a hard worker, but also she's definitely one for the constructive criticism, and I know that's something I need on my team.
Were you all happy with the room decor?
Yes, I was.
We went with the Irish team, Bill, and I was happy enough with it, like, to say that it was an Irish team, so like, there was no mistake in that.
Well, it was a bit diddly-idly, wasn't it? Green everywhere.
I think the room decor was nice, and it did tie in with the Irish theme, but you know, it's something that I wouldn't have chosen, like, but you know, that's what she wanted.
But Michelle, you chose Tara for constructive criticism.
Yeah,
did you not listen to her?
I didn't realise she wasn't happy with that.
No, Michelle asked me did I like it, and
yes,
we were going for the Irish theme, and I thought that was the best of, instead of going for, you know, something completely obvious.
Something completely obvious? You mean there was something more obvious than what you went with? And how about the pillars?
We covered the pillars ourselves.
Do you think they looked well?
It was an afterthought on the pillars.
But Tara spent an hour and a half on the first pillar.
She did, yeah.
But maybe it was because Tara had nothing else to do.
I think that's a bit unfair to say now, Bill. I think I had a lot to do, and I looked fairly well when I was finished with them. So
she did a great job, Bill. I can't fault her. Like, she was up to her eyes, and she was up that step ladder, as was Panos. I thought they looked good at the end. Like, they looked way better than the concrete.
And your thoughts behind the Senator Windows idea?
Senator was just a really difficult one to think up something for, and we initially came up with an idea that they've already done, which was kind of the wind and everything outside the window, and then you close the window and you can't hear it. Right at the end of the day anyway, Jamie came up with a great idea for a thermal imaging camera, and it was brilliant. Obviously then we could show that with the window in front it keeps in the heat, and I think it worked very well. People were really talking about it.
And the Wellington Eye Clinic, the 3 of us had a swing at a golf ball.
I think I outdrove you, didn't I?
I think she did.
Yeah, it looked a very happy spot. And Cora Leisure.
So we wanted to keep it fun. What we ended up with is the cardboard cutouts and seeing yourself in the mirror.
I thought the idea of the cutouts was terrific, but just let yourself down by not being able to give all the audience the picture.
I agree. We couldn't actually source a Polaroid camera, and then the one that we find...
What, a Polaroid?
A Polaroid camera, just like
They
an
went
instant.
out with the Indians.
Yeah, well, there was one that we found, but yes, it was too expensive.
But did you not think then of getting a photographer?
It was a mistake, and it's my
And
regret.
did you not think of that?
Oh, we definitely thought about it. When it all boiled down to it, we didn't have anything, and it was a mistake.
Well, at this point, I'd like to say thanks very much to all of you who have come back here to support this task. And I know that both Michelle and Niamh really appreciate the effort you've made, and we're very grateful for that. And so am I. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, Minnie.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Bill.
A very difficult decision has to be made before the end of this boardroom, and I have to make it. So, Niamh, what skills do you think that Michelle has that might prevent you from getting this job?
I suppose myself and Michelle have lots in common, but we're also very, very different. I think our approach is the thing that's different. Maybe I'm a bit softly sometimes, and I think that's something Michelle has that I don't. Maybe she's a bit more direct, and maybe that's something I need to work on.
That's the main thing, is it?
I think that's the main thing. I think I still get the job done, I just have a different approach to doing it. I think Michelle has been strong in all tasks, but I think things that she's been strong on I also have as well.
So, Michelle, what abilities do you think Niamh has that might get her the job?
Again, I think we have a lot in common, but I think it'll be Niamh's creativity, the way she thinks. I am very creative, but Niamh has that edge on me, I think, sometimes.
Creativity. Niamh, Michelle, I want you both to go outside, because Jackie and Brian and myself are going to have a chat about where we go from here. Thank you. So there we are, Niamh and Michelle. Niamh has an answer for everything, hasn't she?
She's not afraid to speak up for herself, that's for sure. She has the emotional intelligence way beyond her years, and she's showing that.
And she very much leads from the front, and when she leads from the front, she might take a softly approach to their teammates. But I think when she really inspires her team to rally around her and try and keep up with her and work as hard as her.
It's interesting when you ask them each what the differences were between them, that Michelle conceded that Niamh was more creative than her. She made a complete mess of decorating the room.
You weren't happy with that at all, sure.
Oh my God, that was terrible.
She really let herself fall down there, but she does seem to have some creativity in her. When you set aside, I suppose, the way she dressed that event, you have to look at the amazing event she created for Cadbury in Terrell's Pass. And she got massive productivity out of everybody. It was a real tour de force.
She's a very good manager. Without a doubt, she's a very good manager.
Niamh is very young. Just gone on 23.
Well, you started fairly young yourself, you know.
I'm talking about work experience. Her work experience is very limited.
No, she doesn't have a lot of work experience.
In fairness, she absolutely whacked the rest of the candidates to get to this final. You know, she has shown maturity far beyond her years. And then you balance that with Michelle. She has won 7 tasks. Niamh has won 8 tasks. It's very, very even.
It's very even. It's about instinct now, I think, at this stage. Or about how they might impress me in the next little while.
It's never been really down to the wire like this before, has it?
Don't think so. Jane, would you ask them to come in, please?